On Tuesday, March 26, 2019 at 7 p.m. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Under public participation, Mr. and Mrs. Lesson.
Hello, I'm Eldon Lesson, and this is my wife Martha Lesson, and we own a house on Pekin Street, which we were here February 19th addressing this issue at what time we were promised a committee meeting, which has never happened. But in the meantime, we have not heard anything, and I understand that there was an email sent to all of you about us. And at this time, I'd like the city attorney who sent that email to read it.
I want to clarify. I'm the one that sent you the email.
Yes, but it was sent to everyone on the city council.
We'd asked him for his city opinion, for his legal opinion.
Okay.
I don't particularly want to read the email out to you, but at this time, I can't really speak as to whether or not I have to.
We just felt like there was a lot of things that were
There were
not
a lot of
accurate in
things,
it,
yes.
and because it's been a month since anyone's looked at it, we would like to address some of the inaccuracies.
Well, if it was disseminated to you, you're free to bring them up at this time.
So am I free to read your email that was sent to everyone?
So we've received the email in question.
So
can we start off with some of the concerns that you had with the email that you received, rather than have Mr. Hoblet read it?
Okay?
We can certainly share that with anybody that wants a copy. But
Okay. Well, first of all, you quote section 7745, which we also quoted. It says that the property owner is responsible in maintaining the individual sewer to the connection to the city sewer line. You also need to look at section 7741B, which talks about the connection itself. What we're trying to determine is where is the line that you draw that says the city is responsible beyond this line, we're responsible up to the line. According to what we've been told, the main is here, the taps go into the main, it's all into the street, and anything that is, our main was broken, our tap was broken, our line was bad. So the city's drawing the line across the main this way, saying you're responsible for this section. The next property owner is responsible for the next section, et cetera, which leaves no responsibility for the city. And that's what we've been trying to ask, is where is the line? What is the responsibility that the city is going to take? Okay, so that is our argument. Our argument is not trying to figure out who did the damage. That we're not interested in that. That's really not of importance. And that argument is nullified if you look at those other sections of the city policy, because it does say that the property owner or that the city is responsible for the connection.
Okay. Are we want to stick with the sewer, or do we want to stick with the inaccuracy of the email?
it's your time. You can use it however you guys would like to.
Again, it's a 5-minute time.
Yes, I understand that. And I just want to clarify that he said he believed the lessons have been mainly in the rural area. That, part of that is true. I grew up in a rural area. My wife didn't. She grew up in a city. Her father has been mayor of the
We don't have much time for that. Okay, so the whole issue about the due diligence on the purchase of our property, I find that very irrelevant because, first of all, there is no way to inspect the condition of the city main under the street or our tap into it, for that matter. There's no way to inspect that and get that taken care of. So for them to say that that was our fault, not the city's fault. Okay, so the problem of the city. What is the city's problem? When you have decaying ancient sewer lines that are failing, that is the city's problem. It's not just our line. The line here that says that, where's the one about? If the city takes a position that is, no, that's not the one. Anyway, somewhere up here it says, I'm sorry, I'm not finding it at the moment. The city will most likely
Face this issue again.
face the issue again, and it says in there,
So in other words, it's being stated that you will have future problems again with the mains throughout the city of Lincoln. And so, you know, I think this needs to be addressed by the city.
okay, it says right here, if we make an exception for the lessons, which we're not asking for an exception, we're just asking what is the responsibility of the city. The city would potentially subject themselves to many fixes of this nature. So you're already saying that,
There's been
yes,
a
there
past
are
and-
problems with the city sewer line, not just our property, but other places. There already have been problems, there will be in the future. And you can't just ignore them and then expect the property owners to pay 100% of the repairs when they're in the city street and include the city main. That just makes no sense.
And we're not asking you to pay 100% of the repair bill. We're just asking you to pay the repair part of the city main and the tap, which is stated in 7745, which it says, we are to bear all cost of the sewer line up to the connection. The connection being the tap where it's tapped in. We're not responsible for the tap or the main sewer line. It is up to the connection.
Well, in the whole paragraph about it being what's beneficial to us, how has this situation benefited us? Be real. There is no benefit to us through the whole thing. And it also says that whatever is beneficial to the landowner should not prompt the city to act in their favor. That's pretty poor policy as well. The city is here for the people of the city. And then, of course, the last part about Mr. Wright, the lessons, and various members of the city council meeting, that hasn't happened. We've offered numerous times to meet with various people, including Mr. Wright. We asked for a meeting with him. That was never granted. I did see him once when I went to the city sewer department and happened to catch him there. But it has been very hard to try and set up any kind of meeting to talk through our concerns with the sewer issue. So we're concerned that, will there be a meeting? Will we be allowed to attend?
We're not only concerned about the sewer line, but the lack of communication with the people that have a problem from the people that need to be communicating with us. There has been no communication.
The email was very degrading, actually, and it was not very accurate. So to think that that's being circulated and nobody cares to find out if that's factual or what our opinion is on it, that kind of stings. I'm sure 5
I'd
minutes
like
are
to
up.
answer any questions.
I don't have any questions for you. I think we need to facilitate that meeting and get all the correct people at the table to answer your questions.
We've been
I mean,
trying
just
to do
plain
that.
and
We've been
simple.
trying to do that
5
for
months.
five months. Actually, the last meeting, it's been 5 weeks since we were here the last time, and we finally got an answer Friday, which was the email that was sent to you
Right.
guys on February 26th, which is like a month ago from today even.
Right. I understand your frustrations, I do. I would be happy to help facilitate getting the right people together at the table for you. I do think that your aldermen need to be present, though, at least one of them, because they're the individuals that represent you on the council.
I would greatly appreciate it if there could be a date set right now that meeting would take place, because I feel if I leave again, the miscommunication's going to go on.
I
So
don't,
I wonder if there can be a committee formed and a date now.
I think that'll be impossible, given the fact that Mr. Wright's not here, and he needs to be at the table, so.
I understand that, but you guys are his boss, you can,
Well,
never
that's
mind,
fine.
because that's been a frustrating just to find him at the plant.
May
Give
I
us-
say something? I understand, I've been pretty much on top of this as well as the rest of us. And I'm speaking for the mayor and me as management, and that's when I mentioned us. I never referred to Alderman I never referred it to be Alderman Dalpaz or Alderman Brown. Those two individuals supposedly have been talking to you and keeping in communication with you about this. I don't know about a meeting. I know a meeting was going to be held with management, with us, and with the two aldermen. And then the mayor asked that all of the parties talk with Mr. Wright as well as prior to that to get their opinions of everything. And that hasn't happened. So
Is there any way that we can be included in any of these meetings, or they just happen without us?
you were going to be next after we had talked to our city side, we were going to talk, and then we were going to have another meeting and invite you there. So I don't know how you heard about there was going to be a meeting. I don't,
Well,
last
at
time
the
we were
last
here-
council meeting, there was a committee supposed to be formed and a meeting
assumed we
on
would-
February 19th.
did you,
And we can comment to that. So the last time that you were here, we made mention that we would meet to discuss the issue, and then we would then invite the lessons and to discuss the issue further once we had had an opportunity to discuss. And yes, Ms. Kappelman, we did have a meeting scheduled, and yes, it was canceled. And no, Ms. Brown and I did not meet with Mr. Wright or Mr. Hoblet after that meeting. A lot of information had been shared, and as I reviewed everything that was in front of me, a lot of the professional individuals in the city had weighed in. So I had simply put that I believed that the responses need to be sent to the lessons if we were at a point where we were done, or whether that be verbally or in writing. That was after that meeting was canceled, and I have that email. And at that point, I think time went past, and now we are here, I think, in the same situation that we were before. I'd be happy to volunteer, and I know that might not be as beneficial since I did this the last time, and I apologize, but I'd be happy to volunteer with Mr. Welch to help facilitate the meetings that need to take place so that we can at least discuss the issue. I don't know what the end result will be, as some people have weighed in from the city in regards to their professional terms and natures, but I think I would be happy to work with him to get that done. But it would be very difficult. I will agree that Mr. Welch, without Mr. Wright, it will be very difficult to establish a date because we don't know the schedules available, and I actually don't know my own, I'll be honest. But I think that we can accommodate that and at least have the discussion.
I have one question, and Mr. Wright, does he keep any office hours at the sewer plant?
I don't know what his exact hours are. I mean, he's always been accessible, but I don't know when he's there.
No, he's not always
I
accessible
called
because we were
and
there.
asked to set up appointments several times. I stopped by and asked to set up appointments, and every time I was told, we don't know exactly when he'll be here.
So I just wondered, I think being a public official like that, he should have some set hours.
He's not actually a public official. He's a
Well,
contracted, individual.
but-
So I mean, he doesn't have to be here, or you know what I'm saying. So I mean, he's always been responsive to us. I don't know the ins and outs there when he's there exactly, but again, like Tracy and Dane have mentioned, they will reach out to him, and that's where we're at. We can point fingers all we want, but that's not going to get
No.
anywhere at this
That's
point.
fine. We just would appreciate being kept in the loop without having to make 4 or 5 contacts before we finally get some information back. I mean, that's basically where we're at, so.
Any other questions before we leave?
Do either of you have their contact to get back to them after you've spoken to Mr. Wright, or?
Yes, I have
Okay.
their information, and I can pass that along to Mr. Alderman Welch.
Okay.
Phone numbers again, emails again, whatever that is all in that package.
We'll get a meeting scheduled, in the near future. We'll set something up by the end of the week. Okay? So you'll have a date of when that'll happen. So at least that'll be something to shoot for.
Well, we are on the agenda for next council meeting next week, so.
I do have to ask a question. Have you been in contact recently, though, with Alderman Brown? Because she's one that showed concern.
They have not, she has not
She's not contacted
us
you at all?
Has not responded to any of our emails.
Okay.
We did at the beginning.
We'll be in touch this week with you. Thanks.
Thank you.
So the agenda, even 2 weeks, right? The next is that what they're referring to?
We wanted to clarify that the next CAL will be 2 weeks from now, not next week. Next week's our regular voting meeting. Okay? Sure.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak under public participation?